I met Brenda in 10th grade. There was another girl who was with us, Donna, and the three of us became fast friends really quickly. And we all used to hang out together, and it was just amazing. They were my girls. I introduced them to a bunch of my guy friends like Brandon, Steve, David, and all them. And we all became fast friends. I mean, I was already friends with all of them, but, we all became fast friends. And I don't know. I think there were like six of us core people. And then, we'd bring in somebody here and there type of thing. But there were really like just six of us. I was dating Dylan at the time, and Brenda was just kind of like kicking it and hooking up with Steve. When people show you who they really are, you should believe them. And I didn't, and that's why this is going on and on and on. So, like a year later or whatever, it's summertime again, and we're all hanging out, and I get grounded, right? So it's like the beginning of summer, and I'm grounded for the first 2 weeks. Well, during that time, I guess that, Brenda and Dylan started hooking up. Let me be clear. I was dating Dylan at the time. We were exclusive. So yeah, my best friend, she totally fucked me over, and I probably should have seen it then, but I didn't, and I was in high school. What are you going to do, right? So that's when I started dating David, who is Dylan's little brother. Payback's a bitch. So now we can fast forward, and I'm 18 at this point. And I've just kind of turned 18. Brenda, Donna, and I would drive around through Potomac, smoking weed, listening to music and stuff. That was just kind of like what we did every day after school. It was our thing. I had another friend, Andrea, who she wasn't like part of that core group, but her and I were kind of like besties on the side also. And she would kind of, hang out every once in a while, but her and Brenda didn't really get along. I think they were both fighting for my attention. So one evening, Andrea and I are out, and we're with two of our guy friends who weren't part of this other group, and we're driving around. We go through Taco Bell. Long story short, we end up getting arrested for possession of weed. So that sucks, but you get out on your own recognizances, and I'm 18. It doesn't matter, right? A few days afterwards, Brenda calls me up and she's like, hey, can I come over and can we talk, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, sure. Like, I'm kind of thinking that, she's going to come over and, just like make me not feel as bad as I felt about the arrest, right? Because you're like my best friend. So like, you should be just like, I'm so sorry. They shouldn't have done that, blah, blah, whatever. You know what I'm saying. She then proceeds to tell me when she gets there that we can't hang out anymore because I got arrested. And she felt she should, put some distance between me and her. Meanwhile, I'm just thinking, like, don't you and I do the exact fucking same thing? Like, it totally could have been you and me. Like, it didn't have to be me and Andrea. It could have been me and you. Like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, the hypocrisy, seriously. Over the next few years, we kind of like fall in and out of each other's lives, and whatnot. And she ends up marrying Dylan. I didn't get invited to the wedding. And it was me who introduced them. Really? And the funny thing here for me, this is a little sidebar, is that her parents and his parents, they all hated me. They all thought I was like the ringleader of, whatever, P-Funk maybe, I don't know. And that like, I could convince their kids to do bad things. And it's like, no, your kids like have a mind of their own. You're basically saying your kids are idiots and I manipulate them and I'm Geppetto. And it's like, no, your kids have a mind of their own. Like, there have been times when I got blamed for things when I wasn't even around. Dylan, David, and Brenda all move out to Southern California, where the guys were going to go to law school. Brenda and I get back in touch and, we're on good terms again and whatnot. Like, I really like the nostalgia, the idea of, having friends from when I was growing up. So there's that element of it. But, Brenda was also cool to hang out with. Like, there were things I liked about her, obviously, or I wouldn't have hung out with her. But so she ends up getting pregnant. Great, they're married. That's fine. They're, moving on to the next chapter in their lives. But she ends up getting pregnant, and I go out there to hang out with her and to visit and whatnot. And she tells me, so she's working for a doctor at this time, okay? She's working for a dentist. And I guess she was having an affair with him. And so she tells me that the baby is in her husband's. And I'm like, woo! So you marry my old trash and then cheat on him. Like, and she also cheated on him with my cousin, too, which was wild. Like, I mean, it's just crazy. She's a hoe. So I've never said anything about this, baby not being her husband's, right? And, it's just something I've sat with for a long time. Well, I end up, because, I like to check up on people, like even people I'm not like, whatever, cool with and stuff. And so I Google them, I Google the daughter and whatnot. Well, okay, so I think they have either 3 or 4 kids. And the oldest one, the daughter, looks nothing like her dad. Absolutely not. And so I'm like, damn. So yeah, there's that. And then, like we still hung out, and sometime during that period I started dating David again, and he was out in Southern California, and so I stayed out there for a while with him. Dylan and Brenda were getting ready to move back to Potomac. But David wasn't ready yet. And then, I finally got David to come back to this area. And so Brenda and Dylan and David and we were living in Dylan's parents' house. All of us together, right? How cool is that? Like, my best friend married to, my boo's, brother, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was a fairy tale. And, they wanted us to be the godparents to this bastard child. And, like all that kind of stuff. Like, and we were going to get married. Like, it was just this whole fairy tale that, like, erupted and turned into this, like, nightmare. And so, when things got really bad between me and David, like, she didn't take my side. When I really needed the help, when I really needed a friend to be there and, help me get to rehab and, like, just have some understanding for me like I have had for her, she wasn't there. Not only was she not there, but, she was one of the ones who would talk shit about me behind my back. 50 has a line, they crowned you prom queen, but behind you they call you a fiend. And that's exactly what it was. That's exactly what it was. And, she was also part of that, like, deception of, like, the football game and, just all the public humiliation. So this is why I bring to you all Brenda Walsh, so you guys can, judge and make your decision. Because, again, this is a 15-year grudge now. And, there's a lot more I could speak on, but, like, I think you guys get the idea. And you guys, hear things in my music and whatnot. So I feel like, you get the idea. But if not, ask me anything. Totally willing to talk about it. But y'all let me know what you think, because I think she's just a fucked up person. And just in case anybody is confused, I am the fucking general of P-Funk at this point.